Right, we are here in the heart of London with the fantastic Taylor Acorn.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm so good. How are
I'm
you?
not too bad.
Good.
Time off work. I've got a West Ham mug, so I hope I'm not offending anyone out there with my choice of football mug. For the record, I don't support them. I don't support any football team, to be fair. So anyway, enough about West Ham. 'Cause we're here to talk about Taylor.
Aw.
Now, your new album is coming out on the 24th of October. You excited?
I'm so excited.
Cool. That's great news. Now, I want to start off. It's sort of been a decade, that you were operating as an independent artist.
Yeah,
And for this record, you've signed to Fearless
I
Records.
have.
What was the driving force? What made you go, I'm joining a label after all of this time of working independently? Because I'm sure there's pros and cons for both.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like processing it all. I'm like, I forget sometimes because it has been so long since I've, started doing this, and I had been doing so much of it independently on my own. But yeah, I think, I kind of got to a point where we had done so much. We had come out here a few times to tour. We'd been touring in the US a lot. I had put out a couple album, like, I guess not albums. I put out a full-length album last year, actually exactly a year ago, pretty much.
Yep.
And then had put out, a couple projects beforehand. And, I think there was this part of me that's like, I'd really love to elevate this. And I just think I had got to a point where it's like, I don't know if I can do it. We've done so much on our own and have gotten to such an amazing place and built such an incredible fan base, but I want to keep going. And I had kind of teetered with the idea of maybe staying independent and signing to a label. And then I met with Fearless, and the whole team is just incredible. And we're really, really supportive of my music and very inspired by my stuff as well, which is like something that you dream of, right? When you are starting to formulate a team, you obviously want people who care about what you have to say and care about the music. And they've just been so supportive. And I just felt like, hey, I'm going to give this a shot. If it doesn't work out, I can go back to being independent. I already know, I know my music, I know the fans, and we can continue to do that. Or I can try something new and see what happens. So yeah, it's just been a very, still very new, but it's been great so far.
Well, the wonderful thing is, no matter what happens, is the fans are still with you no
Yeah,
matter what.
I hope
So
so.
they will follow you wherever you
Yes.
might go.
Yeah.
Now, what's the experience been of writing and recording Poster Child?
Mhm.
How's that differed from having the support of a label from working independently?
I think the first and foremost, writing that album was the first time that I had had that significant of amount of time off of the road. I feel like the last 2 years we had been really touring and we hadn't had a lot of time to sit and process things, and I felt like I was disassociating from a lot of things in my life. And I had just written a record, and so you're going on stage and you're having to promote that record as well, and like you try to like be the songs, and but there were a few things that had happened in my life simultaneously to writing that record where I was like, oh, I don't know if I feel like the grass is greener on the other side right now, but I have to play it. And I love that song so much, and it has such a different meaning for me now. But I think, just and all of a sudden I lost my train of thought. I was just
That's
talking about my
okay.
ADD earlier. I was
Don't worry. Do you
like,
know what? That's the same as me. I struggle with that whole
what am I
ADD
even?
thing, so
No,
I can
yes.
relate. Question
Help me
again.
here.
How has the experience of recording Poster Child differed
Yes.
from having the support of
Yes.
the label?
Yes. That is so funny because I totally just like my ADD, I'm like looking at a leaf and all of a sudden I just lost all of my train of thought.
Which leaf? I want to know which one it is.
It's like right there, like
Wow,
that
that is a
tree.
neat leaf.
I mean, the tree is
I
beautiful.
think the one
It
to I think the
really
one to the left is nicer though, just for
it
the
is
record.
really nice. Oh my gosh, that's literally my brain in a nutshell. I'm
It's
literally a
fine,
squirrel.
honestly.
Squirrel, acorn, it fits. But yeah, no, I think that having the time off and really being able to like sit and process and really um, be able to focus on not only like the production but the lyrics. And this was the first time that I had written by myself for a lot of things. I started the process of writing in my living room, just coming up with ideas, and through therapy and through just emotional process and processing the things that had happened, I was really able to write from my own heart, which has been really cool, because in previous times where we have recorded and we have written, it's been, very much a collaborative effort, which it was this time, but it was really cool being able to come in with the ideas and be like, hey, like I've had this verse in a chorus. What do you guys think of it? And all of my collaborators being so excited to be a part of it as well. And again, it's still so new into working with Fearless, but to be so vulnerable and to write these songs and then to send them to people that don't really know you like your collaborators do or your fans do quite yet, and then being so on board and so excited about everything has been incredible. And they've been wanting to bring all of the visions to life, being able to do music videos, which is something that I love so much. I think my generation growing up watching TRL and stuff.
So I was
Yes.
MTV.
Yes,
So
MTV,
I don't even
like,
know if MTV is the same thing it used to be anymore.
yeah, I
So
don't think it is. I think it's a lot of like ridiculousness that show is like on every second.
it's
Yes, but growing up watching that, like I have such a love for music video and the visuals that come with the songs, and I felt like this album and these songs are so visually driven that to be able to have that lifeline and have them be so supportive and listening to my ideas and wanting to bring them to life has been amazing. But yeah, it's just being able to have taken the time to just process everything and write and be able to perfect everything. And this is the first time I think that I can listen to a whole album through and through and be like, this feels like me. It's me, to a T, literally. And,
cool.
it's been a really cool experience so far.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, your last single, Hangman, I
Mhm.
was wondering if you could talk me through that a little bit, because I understand there's quite a lot of emotion to it.
Mhm.
And it'd be nice to hear it from your mouth almost
Yeah.
to sort of outline what I've read,
Yeah.
because it's quite uplifting, but also quite
Mhm.
personal as well.
Yeah, of course. So being fully transparent, I have a autoimmune deficiency, and it's been something that has kind of come up the last few years. And I didn't know that I had it until I started touring. And obviously, the entertainment industry is very hard on your body when you're touring and you're playing shows every night, and sleep schedules are different all the time. And just the stress levels I think had really made me start to get really ill. And so I found myself getting really sick on the road, and it was tough because I was surrounded by so much love and going on stage every night and doing what I love every night, but also feeling so terrible. Like my body just felt so
Yeah.
terrible. And I just felt like I couldn't get a break. Like I would feel so good going into a tour and think that I was fully ready and healthy. And then a couple shows in, I'd get sick. And, struggling with that has been a really hard thing to deal with mentally. I think just like being ill and not being able to show up 100%. I'm a Virgo, it's Virgo season, and we are perfectionists to a T. So for me not to be able to show up 100% was really, really hard. And I just I couldn't grasp the fact that like I wanted so desperately to be at a level and have the energy, but my body just couldn't catch up. And I was like, I love the analogy of feeling like the universe is playing a game of hangman. Like, oh, we're gonna pick a letter today, and her lungs are gonna, not feel great, or her like bones, and it's really weird. And so when I got home from tour, the last tour, I actually had to leave early because I got sick. I had to cancel a couple shows the last few, which was really hard to do because I was on tour with Dashboard Confessional and Boys Like Girls. And those were two bands that I have looked up to for years and years and years and have been such a fan of, and really wanted to be able to make it through the tour. But I just realized, hey, I got to take care of myself or else I'm not going to be able to do this long term. So I got home and um, I just started writing the chorus of Hangman, and I took it to my collaborators, Emma Lynn White and Dan Swank, and I was like, hey, is this a crazy idea? Like, will anybody understand this? And they're like, no, that's really cool. And I felt like it was a little bit from a different angle than other ways that I had written about mental health and that struggle. And so, yeah, that's kind of where that
Cool.
originated from. Yeah.
So I think it's actually from hearing what you said, it's
Yeah.
important to get that out there, because
Mhm.
I think a lot of people will think Rockstar Life, how amazing is that? But
Yeah.
there is a lot of work that goes into it.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think it's important that you're getting it out there and speaking about
Yeah,
it.
of course.
Now, of all the tracks on Poster Child, as I've said, I've not actually heard it all myself, so I'm really looking forward to when it's released myself.
Mhm.
Is there a particular song that you're looking forward to bringing to the fans, either live or just for them to hear it for the first time? Something that you're excited about?
Oh, well, this Friday, well, I guess technically
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
but in the US, it would be
Time
well, it would
zones.
be the
Yeah.
time zones. Yes, but it comes out earlier here for me,
You hear that,
right?
America? We get it sooner.
I know you guys get it a little bit earlier because you're a few hours ahead. But there's a song called "Crashing Out" that's coming out technically tomorrow.
Cool.
But I'm really excited about that one, playing that one live. We rehearsed it a couple times, and every single time, just the energy from that, it's just so fun. It's just one you can jump to, and all my bandmates love that song so much. And we even played a stripped down version of it yesterday. We had like a little signing at Rough Trade,
Yeah.
and we even played that stripped down. I was like, this song is so fun, even on acoustic guitar. So it's gonna be a blast to play live. I'm really stoked to play that one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, just for the record, at the time of recording this interview, Taylor will be playing tomorrow, I think, at the Electric Ballroom. Is that? Yeah,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Electric Ballroom. So, if you're going or you were there, tell us how it was in the comments. I really want to know how it was because I will not be there. She's angry at me for this, I can tell.
I'm not. I promise I'll be back, and then I'll force you guys to come the next time.
I will take that. Now, as I've said, you are playing this one-off special show. What does this, show mean to you? Because it is your biggest headlining show, especially in the UK.
Mhm.
And is there something special about the UK for you? And obviously you're in the UK, so
Mhm.
make us sound good. Tell us
I
we're
mean,
wonderful.
it's to be honest, I feel like the way that people ingest music here is so different. Like it's such a stark difference from the US. And I don't want to hate on my own people, but I will say just the energy and the way that people appreciate music is so different. And it's been such a cool thing to see. I mean, I even the first time that I came over here, I think we were supposed to play Camden Assembly, and then we ended up playing the Underworld, and it sold out like so quickly. And I was just shocked because, being from a completely different country, you kind of feel like you're in this bubble where no one else is listening to you. And I feel that way so often. I'm like, even with my fans in the US, I'm like, I see them show up. You guys been listening to my music? That's crazy. You kind of feel like you're in your own little bubble. And so to come out here and each time have a progressively bigger show when I haven't even really toured the UK properly is really crazy to think.
Yeah.
And every single show has been a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. I cannot remember the venue to save my life, the last one that we played, but it's so cool to come back this time because we did come out in December, like the beginning of December, with No Offense, and played the Electric Ballroom as a support.
Yeah.
And now we get to come back and headline it, and it is my biggest show that I've played, even in like the US, out of all of them. And so just to be able to come all the way out here and have such an amazing turnout and to have so many people who are so supportive of me it feels really special. So yeah, it's really cool.
I do have to ask because you are getting bigger. You're going to start filling bigger venues as time goes on.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer the sort of the smaller venues like the you mentioned the Underworld, which is a dark, dingy, um,
Sweaty.
it's a dark, dingy,
Sweaty.
sweaty little box.
Yeah.
So do you prefer them, or do you prefer the grandeur of the bigger venue like the Electric Ballroom or places like that?
I mean, I love a more intimate setting, especially when it's a headline show, because you can see everybody's face and you can see how everybody's feeling and everybody's like emoting to the songs and things like that. I love that aspect and I love the dinginess of it, especially the Underworld. Like that was one of the sweatiest shows I've ever played, but it was so fun and it was so loud. You could barely even hear me singing. And I think that there's something so special about that. But I am like the energy. I'm a tall girl, okay? I'm like 5'8", and I like to run around and I like to be energetic. So there are parts of being on like a bigger tour where you have a bigger stage and you can kind of run around and move around, which I love that aspect of it. But I guess there's things that are, probably not the most ideal for both. You do a bigger tour and not as many people know who you are. But that's a cool thing because you're getting to introduce yourself to people who might not listen to your music otherwise. But being in a smaller venue, obviously the stages are going to be smaller, but the just energy feels so cool. It feels like a rock show,
Yeah.
and that there's something that's really special about that.
Now, you've also had some experiences playing some of the quite impressive US festivals, such
Yeah.
as When We Were Young and Warped Tour.
Mhm.
How do they compare to things like Slam Dunk in the UK? Because I think it was last year you played Slam Dunk,
Yep.
where I'll confess was the first time I'd listened to
No
you.
way.
I make a playlist every time I go to a festival,
so
and I'm like,
awesome.
we're going to go and watch. I've got a clash. I've got an interview. So I didn't come to actually
Yes.
see
Oh
you.
no.
But how do they compare?
I would say they're relatively similar. Again, like I said, the way that people ingest music here versus how they do in the US is very different. I think that people here are really, really open. I guess it really just depends on the festival setting. Like Warped Tour is definitely designed to be you're supposed to have an introductory to new artists, right? Like when I first started going to Warped Tour when I was in high school and college times, like that's when I first learned of some of my favorite bands, like oh my gosh, like Crown the Empire, bands like that. You know what I mean? Paris, like those, and it's supposed to be for that, but I have felt like there's a shift now where it's like, people who are my age that grew up listening to those bands, they want to continue to see those bands and are not really open to hearing new bands. They don't want to see it. They're just, they like what they like, and that's totally fine. But that's something that I have noticed about the UK is that people are so open to all kinds of music, and the way that they react to it is so cool because they're coming into it with a very open mind, and I feel like some of the most kind and just like energetic people during the shows have been from here, from Europe, or so it's just different. So yeah, it's cool, and you guys crowd surf a lot here, which is really fun.
That is true. A friend of
Lots of
mine,
moshing and crowd surfing, and
yeah,
so it's really
a
fun.
friend of mine actually managed to get crowd surfing at the Black Sabbath show as
No
well. So
way.
yeah, he's got a great picture of himself, like,
Yeah.
and it was me just going, I missed an opportunity, but it was
That's
me
so
going, oh, I'm
cool.
not sure on my back. I'm not. Now, looking at your journey, you've had quite an impressive one from like, I
Thank
think
you.
you had a band as a teenager when you were in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You relocated to Nashville. You're about to release, your biggest release, Poster Child.
Thank you.
What's the best lesson or the biggest lesson that you've learned throughout your experience in this industry?
I think just to keep going. And at the end of the day, you have to be your biggest fan, right? When you're doing something you love, it's really hard when you hear the opinions of other people and they're discrediting it or they're making you try to feel less than. And I think that's been something that's been really hard with me. You wear your heart on your sleeve, you're obviously feelings are going to get hurt, right? And so for me, I've just really, I think the biggest advice is just if you love it and you're passionate about it, keep doing it. It doesn't matter what other people say or what they think. Half of the time, actually 98% of the time, they're just trolling and they just are dealing with something that they have troubles with internally. And so for me, it's just keep going and stay passionate and stay excited and feel excitement to release songs, because that was another thing too, where it's like I let the outside voices of people's opinions, hinder my releases of songs that I was really excited about. And now, with this release, I'm so proud of every single song. So it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like it, I'm proud of it and I can hang my hat on it. And that's where I'm gonna keep heading.
It's a good lesson. I've always said to everyone, make music for yourself, not the
Yeah.
other people, because this is yours. If I could write a song, if I had any musical talent, I would.
Yeah, and I
So
mean, art is subjective, and you have
exactly.
to always remember that, and it's an expression of yourself. Artists paint to be able to, tell what's going on in their brains. Musicians write, poets write. It's that they are there to express the feelings that they feel, and that's what it's about. And
Cool.
if yeah, you're doing what you love.
Just a couple more questions,
Yeah,
more
of
fun
course.
ones now.
Yeah, of course.
So think about all of the songs you've ever written,
Oh my gosh, there's a lot.
which tunes do you think would be fun for a couple who have just got married to walk back up the aisle as a married couple to?
Back up the aisle.
Or you
Well,
could do both, actually. Down the aisle and
hmm.
back up the aisle.
Oh my gosh. I think sticking around would be really fun because I feel like I'm a very avoidant attachment style of a partner. I know that's not like the best thing to admit, but that one's it's just funny. It's
Yeah.
just really cheeky. It's very funny. That one would be really fun, especially for a couple that relates to that because it's like I've been trying to kick you out of my life for all of this time and here you are. We're married now. So that could be fun. And also I think I'm in love. That one's just a given.
That's a sweet one.
There's a lot of claps in there. It's very fun. Just a good energy. Yeah.
You hear that? So the girl behind the camera, that is actually my fiance.
Oh my
And the
gosh,
the reason
congratulations.
I'm asking these questions, some of the artists that I'm interviewing
Yeah.
now, is we're trying to think of a good song to walk back up the aisle. So we're trying to find some that will work, some that will
So
be good.
fun.
So we've got 2 songs that are in the running at the moment. for
That's so fun.
sure.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
When did you get engaged?
It was about a year ago, actually.
Awesome.
I'll tell you what, I will show you the video afterwards if you would like.
I'm so excited
So-
to see. I love this. I love love so much. I write a lot about love.
You've read a lot about love, but
I
you're
do.
non-committal, as you say.
No, yes. I've been in a committed relationship for 5 years, but it is, it has been tough. It's been not easy, but we love each other, and that's all that
fantastic.
matters.
You take the tough with the good. I have
Yes,
to say
exactly.
that because she will murder me. She'll murder me in my sleep. Last question.
Yes.
Last fun question. Let's think about a zombie apocalypse. What
Oh
would
my
your
gosh.
survival technique be?
My survival
And how long do you
technique?
think you would survive for?
Oh my goodness. I'd like to think I would be able to survive for a decent amount of time. I think it would just be to like get out as fast as possible. Because you watch so many movies and it's like they're just sticking around. Why are they sticking around for so long? Just get in the car and go.
Yeah.
I would pack a lot of snacks. I'd pack my cats up. They'd be the first ones to go. My partner is actually very, very good when it comes to like survival. So I'd pretty much rely on him.
Yeah.
He would be what saves me. If I'm the one to just be there by myself, I don't know what would happen. I don't know. I guess if it happens, I'll know.
Sing to the zombies.
Yeah.
There we
I'll be
go.
like, "Hey, I'll sing to you if you guys be kind to me. I'll put on a show every Friday and
There we
you can
go.
come and, it's
It's
we'll be
very
fun."
zombie land,
Yes,
actually. Now. I like
yes.
that. Very Bill Murray
love it,
style. If anyone
yes.
gets that reference.
Yes.
Taylor, thank you so much for chatting to
Thank
us today.
you
It's
for
been an
having me.
absolute pleasure. Poster Child is out on the 24th of October. Make sure you check it out. There's 2 songs out at the moment at the time of this recording. Hangman and I've forgotten the other one.
Goodbye, good riddance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did try and remember it and I didn't. But thank you
It's
so
okay.
much for your time.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.